One class was costing me 720 crowns, so I took approximately 25 classes. And then for practical as well, you need to pay 800 to the transport authorities. Of course, there are cases wherein I have seen people spending 70,000 crowns as well. Know that if you already have a driver's license in your home country, you are allowed to drive for the first year. You don't need to go through all the process of having exams and getting a Swedish driving license. Hello everyone, I hope you are doing good. I'm sure that now you have landed on this page, which means that you're looking for a Swedish driving license, which is also valid across the European countries. In this video, we are of course going to talk about the driving license. I will tell you my journey of having a driving license in Sweden and the different processes involved, and then also we will touch base on the cost which is required and what are the different things which you need to look into. Plus, we will also talk about some tips and tricks how you can make sure that you have your driving license at the earliest. Also, it is always said that having a Swedish driving license is as good as having half citizenship over here in Sweden. So first things first, do I really need a driving license being in Sweden? If you are staying in a bigger cities like Stockholm, Gothenburg, Malmö, the public transport is quite good. You don't need really a car or a driving license in that case. When it comes to of having more convenience, it becomes much easier for you of having a driving license. Important thing over here to note is having a driving license doesn't necessarily mean that you need to have a car. There are other options by which you can still use a car, hire a car or rent out a car for whatever days you want. And if you are staying in smaller cities, like maybe Skåne area, maybe in Älmhult, because I have stayed in Älmhult and I have felt that I need a car in Älmhult because it's quite tricky to move from one point to another point. So it's always convenient to have a driving license and a car in such kind of smaller cities. Before we jump into the actual process of getting a Swedish driving license, it is important for you to know that if you already have a driver's license in your home country, then generally you are allowed to drive for the first year as soon as you land in Sweden. So you don't need to go through all the process of having exams and getting a Swedish driving license. You can use your home country's driver's license for first 1 year. It's better that you also go through the theory of it so that you understand different signages, different parking signs, so that it becomes easier for you. And I think there are a number of apps available which you can use to study those things. You are good to go and you can start driving immediately as well. There are few countries like Japan or also all the European countries, they can go to Swedish driving authorities and they can exchange their driver's license for a Swedish driver's license. They don't need to go through all the process again over here. To give you an overall process, it starts with first your eye checkup. By having that eye checkup, you will get your learner's permit so that you are ready to drive or you are ready to learn driving. Then there will be something called as risk 1, then you will have risk 2, then you will have to clear your theory exam and then you will go for your practical exam. Now let's jump into the process. First thing which is important for you, either you go and register yourself for a learner's permit. You can do it on your own by visiting the transport authority's website, or the simplest way for you is go to a driving school and they can help you with all the processes. In my case, I went to a driving school. They did the eye checkup for me and then that report was sent to transport authority and then I got a clearance learner permit. So I was ready to learn driving. You can also get eye checkup done outside in any of the optician's shop. Of course, you need to state the purpose why you are doing the eye checkup. So that eye checkup report directly lands with the transport authority and then your learner's permit is approved. If you see a passenger vehicle like the cars what we have, it's usually the type B what we have. That's the same license which I also have right now. You can choose which car type you want to drive. Basically, if you want to go for a manual transmission car or whether you want to go for an automatic transmission car. The advantage with manual drive is you can drive both automatic as well as manual. So you have made a choice. Now you have got the learner's permit and you are good to go. So you can start your classes with your driving class, or you can also have a private tutor for doing that with you. Next step is to get your risk 1 done. Usually the driving schools will also arrange this for you. Of course, there is a money involved into it. Basically in risk 1, it's a classroom session and then it's approximately 3 hours long session. It's a good course to understand how exactly it works in Sweden. They will also talk about drink and drive, they will talk about narcotics, they will talk about what is safe, what is unsafe behavior. So those are different good things to know about before you already start driving with your driving school. Once you are done with risk 1, there is another test which is risk 2. The driving school will also arrange this risk 2 for you. Even you can do it personally by booking classes. There are several risk 2 test centers. Risk 2 is all about driving a car on a wintry condition, which means that you are supposed to drive actually the car under a supervision. You drive at different speeds like 50 kilometers per hour, 60 kilometers per hour and 70 kilometers per hour. And there is one point wherein your instructor will ask you to hard press the brake. You need to apply the brake instantly, and then you will understand how the car rolls around when you have to apply such a hard brake, which also makes you more safer driver in understanding how you have to handle your car when it is such kind of wintry condition, when there is a thick snow on the ground as well, so that you become more safe driver. That's the whole purpose of risk 2. Till the time you reach risk 2, it's better that you at least have some prior experience of driving. At least you should do a couple of classes, and this is specifically applicable to those who have never drove a car in their life. So if you are going for first time, then probably it's better that you at least have a couple of classes before you appear for risk 2. And risk 1 and risk 2 both are valid for 5 years. Once you have a clear certificate that you have completed risk 1 and risk 2, you don't need to worry for next 5 years, and that will remain valid. The next thing is the theory exam, because theory exam is one of the vital steps to be eligible, to be applicable for the practical driving test. The structure is like you will have 70 questions. You need to at least score 80%. The theory is about 65 marks in total, and you need to score 52 so that you are clear from the theory. I think it's important that you go through the latest book. The book is available across different platforms. There are different Facebook groups. There are also different apps available which provide quiz games, and then you can play them. You can also give mock test. Theory exam is for an hour. If suppose you are appearing for your theory exam for the first time, it's always recommended that you go at least 20 to 30 minutes before to the center, because you need to verify your identity. You need to do payments and everything over there as well. So probably it's better that you go a bit early when it is your first attempt of theory. And as soon as you submit all the answers, once you are done by clicking, because it's a multiple options question, so once you submit that, you will get to know your results immediately over there itself. I would say that it's better that you more focus on the traffic rules and regulations, because that has a major chunk of questions coming from as well. But then we will talk about more about this when I come to the tips and tricks around getting your driver's license as well. So I think I will have a separate video talking about the different tips and tricks for both theory as well as for practical. The validity of theory exam right now is 4 months, which means that within 4 months you should appear for your practical exams and clear your practical exams. If the validity is over 4 months, then probably you need to reappear for your theory exam again. The process of booking a theory exam is as simple as just logging to Transport Authority's website and book a slot. It is a bit tricky at times if you're trying to take a driver's license in the period of summer, because everything is crowded. People want to get their driver's license majorly during summer. It's better that you plan this whole journey. Once you clear the theory exam, then you are eligible for practical. Better tip over here is like you try to combine your theory and practical as well. So when you are trying to drive, or you are going through a driving school and simultaneously studying the theory exam as well, so you can practically imply that knowledge of theory while you are trying to learn driving as well. So that's how you can do it. And once you clear your theory, it is valid for 4 months, and within 4 months you have to clear your practical exam. Practical exam, again, driving school will help you. They can book a slot whenever you want, or whenever they think that you are ready to go for a practical exam test. It is always good that you drive in the same area where you are planning to appear for your practical exam. In my case, I wanted to get this done as soon as possible, but then I can tell you that was not an ideal scenario because I didn't clear that in first attempt at all, or neither in second attempt. I kept on changing based on my convenience where exactly I want to give the test, and then I can tell you it was not that easy as well. There are a few aspects which your supervisor during the practical examiner is going to look into. How safe you are, how exactly you are driving, how exactly you are looking at your blind spot, and those different things which you will come around during your learning process are more important. There are 5 to 6 different categories what they exactly classify different shortcomings. So I think it's more important for you to understand, and they don't expect you to be a perfect driver while you're driving or while you're giving your practical exam. They want you to be more of a safe driver. If there are smaller minor mistakes, they will overlook, but then if they think that this is quite a risky mistake what you're making, then probably you will not get your driver's license. In that, if you see, overall the process is very clear, and you can read about this process on different websites as well. Also, you can read on the Transport Authority's website. For the result of the practical exam, you will get to know whether you have cleared it immediately as soon as you finish your test. The supervisor will tell you whether you have got your driving license or you need to go for another attempt for it. As soon as you complete your practical, successfully complete your practical test, you are good to drive. If you have a car, of course you can start driving. Maybe if you want to hire a car, then of course you can still start driving as well. You don't need to wait for your physical driver's license itself. The physical driver license, usually it comes to you via post. I got an invoice first. I think the cost was like around 300 crowns. So I was just supposed to pay that, and then I got a card in a couple of days. So usually you can think that it might take between 4 days to a week so that you have your physical driver's license. But you can always again log into the Transport Authority's website if you want to check the expiry or if you want to check any details of your shortcut as such, which is the driver's license. So you can always check. Driver's license is valid for 10 years here. For the first 2 years, you are still on probation, which means that you need to be a bit extra careful. You should be careful across your driving journey, across your life, but then you need to be a bit extra careful during your probation period, which is for the first 2 years. The most important aspect as well, the cost, how much money I need to spend for getting a Swedish driving license. I think overall, if you see, the major factor is how many classes you need. Everything from the start, like opticians, I think for the eye checkup, I paid 100 crowns only. Then for your risk one, I think I spent around 800 crowns. For risk 2, I spent 2000 crowns, and for theory exam, I spent 325, plus for the app, it was 200 crowns. As I told you, for practical, it depends like how many classes you take. One class was costing me 720 crowns, so I took approximately 25 classes. And then for practical as well, you need to pay 800 to the transport authorities. Plus, if you are taking the car from your driving school itself, they will have some additional charges for that one. Or if you don't need a car from your driving school, then probably you can take a car directly from the transport authority itself. That total cost will be 1600 crowns. So depending upon the overall calculation what I spent, you can consider a cost ranging from 20,000 to 40,000. Of course, there are cases wherein I have seen people spending 70,000 crowns as well, but it's very rare case that you might need to spend that kind of amount. So there are two main aspects. One is like your time, and then another is how much money you will spend on this one. So in terms of time, I think 2 to 3 months is a good amount of time to give yourself into this complete learning journey as well. The amount can be like 20 to 40,000 so that you continue your learning journey as well. Finally, now we come towards the end of this video. I hope you liked this video, and the knowledge which I shared about my driving license journey will be also helpful for you. As mentioned earlier, I'm going to prepare another video which will be more about tips and tricks of getting Swedish driver's license. I will soon make that video as well, so that you look into or you don't commit the same mistakes which I tried to do during my journey, and probably it might be helpful in terms of saving some money for you as well, and also saving some time. Thank you for watching this till here. I hope you will like this video. If you have any queries, please make sure to write them in the comment box and we will be happy to answer them. Thank you. Bye bye.